Everybody, depending on where you are, good afternoon, good evening, good night. We are hanging out here with Ready Set Go, and we're going to have a chat with them as well as a little bit of chat on hybrid, and just get to know some people and have, just like I said, a casual chat. If anybody in the audience does have any questions, please, as we go through things, don't hesitate to put them in there. I'll obviously time when I'll pull them up, but we'll definitely get through all of them. I guess to start, I mean, Marcelo, I'll skip you for now because you've been on the channel now a couple times very recently. But I'll let you still jump in last there. If all you guys, and you guys can choose what order you want to go in. If you want to just introduce yourselves personally first, again, as personally as you want to get on crypto and in this DeFi space. I'm an open book, but that's okay if you guys are not 100%. We do have a visitor on the screen there. Nice. So yeah, whoever wants to start, either Stay High, Wise Choice, or Todd, sorry, go ahead.
I'll go first.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I'm Stay High. I'm just a normal entrepreneur navigating through the crypto space. I have been around for I'd say a little bit over 2 years now, and I have been a mod in a couple places, and also been affected by multiple rugs and scams, which is where I decided to start Ready Set Go. I'm the founder, by the way, and
Awesome.
since I've been in the space, I witnessed all these scams and rugs. So I decided to start RSG token.
Perfect. How long has it been? We'll get into more details and I'll let you guys all introduce yourself. How long has it been around? Because I remember seeing the logo or hearing about it before, I believe now.
I want to say around late August.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I had heard something. Okay, awesome. Wise choice, I guess, since we'll go in order of who's on the screen there.
Yeah, man. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
I'm Wise Choice Money. I'm literally just a normal guy who loves helping people. I started in crypto around 2014, 2015, fell into a whole bunch of scams, lost a bunch of money, and said, something's wrong with this system and it has to change.
Nice. It does, and we're trying one step at a time.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Todd?
Yeah, hi guys. I am a retired Navy veteran. I've done 20 years in the military, and when I got out, I was a maintenance manager at a factory for a little while, and found that life to be really, really tough and hard. Right? You know, who wants to work 9 to 5, or in my case, 4 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day? Who wants to work crazy hours? Right? So I decided that I wanted to find a new way to go. First, I started with stocks and bonds. And of course, you know, you need money to get into anything. With the advent of crypto, things seemed to be much, much easier. So I started playing around with crypto in 2020. Made a little money. I don't think I've ever made more than a total of $3,000 or $4,000 total, but got involved in a couple of scams the last year and a half or so that really turned my stomach. In the middle of those scams, I met Stay High and Wise Choice, and they proposed a truly honest, well, at least what I believe to be a truly honest project, and they invited me along for the ride. It's been a great experience.
Nice. Good. And a lot of similarities to myself. So yeah, I've been a YouTuber slash sister mod, community manager, kind of a little bit of it all. So definitely some similar backgrounds, which is nice to see. And yeah, I agreed. Just trying to help people, trying to find ways to find wins for people in this crazy, crazy space.
Yeah.
So that was a 2-second one. Marcelo, if you want to do a little something there.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't muted. I thought I was muted. Thank goodness I didn't say anything. Yeah. Same here. I haven't been here as long as Wise Choice, but pretty much came into crypto end of 2021, I guess, like right at the height of the hype, and didn't understand too much. Came in with like a DCA portfolio idea that I was just gonna do the right way of investing, and then got sucked into all the 50,000% APY, Ponzi-nomics, fun stuff, which some people made a lot of money because they were in early, but I was always in right at the end. But yeah, so same thing. Actually, hybrid came about because of that. We were kind of sick of, um, well, not real yield kind of projects, gamified, projects where 80% of the people lose and only 20% of them make millions or whatever, how much they make. So yeah, kind of in the same similar boat. But yeah, like Hybrid's been here for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in, I think we launched in March or April, so getting pretty close to the 2-year mark. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys have heard a lot about me before anyways, but
Yeah,
yeah,
anybody from my channel. Obviously, there could be some new
yeah.
people, so it's always good. We'll get some generalization, but so for you guys from Ready Set Go, what I guess give us kind of a 40-foot view for now, and we'll just kind of get an idea of what you guys are about and how you're trying to help the space and trying to make it better through what you're doing with your project.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start by saying what RSG is. So RSG, which stands for Ready Set Go, is a fun competitive token on the Binance Smart Chain. Our total supply will be 7 million RSG. Our launch price is yet to be determined. And RSG operates with the 10% buy, sell, and the transfer tax for fairness. Investors have the opportunity to enter into our weekly competition where 7 lucky winners will be selected for making transactions throughout the week. Whether it's a buy, sell, or a transfer to a different wallet, they all get read as an entry into the competition. The winners will receive a BNB prize share from our total tax collected at the end of each competition period. Our main winner will receive a 10% share. The remaining 6 will receive 2% of the entire tax collected. And rewards are available not just for winners, but also our token holders. A 10% share will be distributed amongst all token holders based off their bag weight. And we want RSG to be sustainable, so in order to achieve that, 15% of our total tax collected will go to our LP each week.
Gotcha. Cool. And sorry, is the website kind of like, I do have the website. Am I good to put it up so we can see a little bit there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was public yet. I assumed it was, but so sorry, just to kind of break that down a little bit. So you're going to be collecting like people buying the token, there's going to be a tax that gets collected. And is that what you're distributing?
Yes, for the competition, that's what gets distributed is the taxes.
Okay. And is that how the whole thing runs? So it's kind of based on okay, perfect.
So that's just part of it. That's the competition part. We also have NFTs available, but I'll let TK take over that part.
Cool. Oh, hey, your website's got a...
Oh, he's muted.
That happens. So Todd, you want to unmute yourself?
Oh, is that better?
That is much better.
Sorry about that.
No, good, no worries.
My cat is making so much noise, I had to turn the microphone off. So our project is divided into 2 halves. There's the competition that takes place all week. In order to develop LP and to create a utility, the NFT also pays back to the holder. So every time you buy the NFT for a quarter of a BNB, that all goes towards development and LP. All right. We're trying to put at least 80% of all funds that we collect into development. So that way I'm sorry, not development, but LP. That way there's enough money there to launch and make it nice, smooth gaming system for everyone. The NFTs are going to allow the users to make a passive income as well. We have bought a few projects such as Warhaven. That's our biggest one. And we are developing our treasury to have its own income generation from these outside projects. That way we're not relying strictly on taxes, and everybody has a chance to really win when there's real income being made.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll have fees coming in from the sale of the token, and then these NFTs are an additional revenue source where you're investing that into different projects. Is that done? Are you guys making these choices for the community, or is there a DAO?
There's no DAO. So far, as a team, Weekly we meet, we put up our options. We have a research channel in our Discord for the team to talk on about all of our projects that we're researching.
Perfect.
Hybrid being one of them, by the way. So we talk about these things, and once we decide that this is the one that we're going to put money towards, that goes to the top of the list. We do have what we call the 1% and 2% club. These are holders of our NFTs that hold at least 1% or 2% of the total supply. And from time to time, we go to them. We get their opinion. We get their feeling on our ideas. And if they like them, then we definitely go for them right away. If not, back to the drawing board and we rethink it.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay. So there's some involvement and some input that they can have, but in the most part, you guys are making the decisions. I really don't have an issue with that. I just wanted to clarify it. I find it, too many things try and go a DAO route. And unfortunately, as we're aware, the mass populace doesn't always have the best intentions in mind, especially when they're able to be anonymous. I've seen it where they're making decisions that seem to be more based on what will benefit them more than what will benefit the whole, because maybe they're already in it and they want to see the token pump by somebody else getting into it or something like that. So awesome. And I think it's kind of neat that you guys are using the token tax to still potentially give back to others. I guess we're in this because I think it's important that you guys earn an income for yourselves for the efforts you're putting in. How does that work inside this ecosystem?
Stay high.
Yeah, so we have the Treasury, and the Treasury receiving 33% of the entire tax collected. And it says on there that the Treasury goes for development, any further development, external passive income, and also the team. But by the team, we mean our mods. If we have to pay them, our teams won't collect any profit or any pay until we invest it and we receive any profit for those external revenues.
So so there is something in there where you guys do get an income, but it's based on what you generate as income, not off the back of investing.
Yeah, not from taxes.
Gotcha. Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Very neat. And so right now it's Warhaven that you guys are invested in, and then possibly looking at hybrid, which I do concur. I think that's a great opportunity for you, but I might be a little bit biased. And so launching wise, have you guys launched this? I know you mentioned kind of that it is launching. Have you had kind of a soft launch where some of your community's gotten in already, or?
Right now we're in the middle of testing. We've had several back to the drawing board, go back to the drawing board a couple of times with our contract. To do what we want, it's a very simple concept, doing a 7-day lottery type competition. Very simple concept, but the taxes, the way they get moved around is becoming very complex. So every time they get close, there's a little hiccup, and it's something we're dealing with in the meantime.
Okay. And I guess with that too, it's not like you can fork another contract, because not really, I can't think of anything that's kind of done this. This way.
No.
There was one project I did that literally is a lottery system where it's like you buy raffle tickets and you get in, but that's about the closest to that kind of idea.
This is very unique. There's nothing out there like this.
That's awesome. No, that's good. I haven't, like I said, I haven't heard of anything. I'm making a very loose comparison to this one thing, but it's literally only one aspect of it. So that's cool. And I like that you guys are diversifying in the sense that you're not just playing with taxes, and you have another revenue source kind of thing. And I do see some NFTs have been sold. So basically the NFTs then have launched, but it's the token itself that you're still working on the contract side of it.
That's correct, and like I said, it's in testing now. I did a couple of transactions this morning. Every night we get together as a group, we look at the admin page and we talk about what took place. Well, let me not say every night, but frequently we discuss how the transactions are going.
Cool.
And we're on with developers quite a bit.
Nice. And I just noticed that you've already sold almost 200 NFTs. They are a decent price point, which is nice. But obviously you've already had a pretty good launch, because you're saying 200 out of the 700 are gone already, which is not too bad, because I haven't seen a lot of advertising or marketing. So good for you guys for that. And is there I guess once you hit that 700, are you expanding that or doing more down the road? Are you keep growing this portfolio?
Well, we actually have a goal in mind of 450 NFTs. When we get to the 450 NFTs, we believe we'll be at a point where we can do what we call a stealth launch. We won't have to wait for all of the NFTs to get sold. We won't have to do a pre-sale. There'll be, by that point, there should be just enough money to have a nice little LP, $10,000-$15,000 maybe, that will be able to go ahead and do what we call a stealth launch. We'll give the community like a 5-day period and say, hey, we're going to launch somewhere in these 5 days. You better pay attention.
Yeah.
And then our 2%, our 1%, 2% club, they get a slightly earlier notice or closer notice, so that way they can be ready to go. But nobody will know exactly when it's going to launch. We will not tell anyone.
Yeah, so that'll be for the token. So I guess then what you're saying though is some of the NFTs will be used for the LP as well. So it's not just going into investments.
That's correct. The initial reason why the NFTs were developed was to predominantly create development and LP money.
Okay.
And then once Wise Choice Money and I came on board, and we talked with Stay High about the possibility of outside income, how to pay back people without using the taxes. Once those conversations started happening, that's when the idea of external revenue came into play. So a lot of the external revenue we currently have, because we do have more than Warhaven, it's just they're the ones that we are putting a lot of our own money into. The rest of our investments are all things that we had in our own personal wallets, and we said, you know what, this is going to give $10, this is going to give $5, this is going to give $3, and we just threw it all in there in the hopes that enough of that together would create a nice little reward system that we can display to create hype.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to think of how it's good. Like if you're trying, like the amount of money you're raising and the fact that you have to create an LP pool and then still hopefully give rewards to the NFTs. Right. I'm just trying to fathom.
So once the tax system starts going and any NFTs beyond 450 get sold, all of that will go entirely to research of new projects and an LP injection. LP injection.
Some of the taxes going back to the NFT holders as well. Sorry if I interrupted there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So yes, there is money going back to the NFT holders. NFT holders will collect 30% of all taxes.
Okay. Sorry, you might have said that.
All right. Say it again. Stay high.
20% of the total tax collected.
Sorry, 20%. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's good. Okay.
30% is the external revenue share.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Marcelo, was there anything you had questions or anything you wanted to?
Not really. Just understanding everything. You guys are in development. You're trying to get the. I'm guessing the token development is okay. It's the integration of the taxes and the 7-day contest is the problem. That is being fixed. I guess is being tested now. That's cool.
Yeah.
So 10% tax on buy, sell, and transfers. 20% of that goes towards the NFTs later, I guess, once it launches. And then the other 80% either goes partly to the treasury and partly to the LP. Well, and also, I guess, the winners, right? 10% to the number one, first place, and then another 10% between the other 6.
Yeah,
is that correct?
The first 6 winners will share in 2% of all of the taxes collected for the day. It'll get divided amongst all 6 of them, and then the 7th winner will collect 10% of all taxes collected for the week. So there'll be a grand winner.
Gotcha.
Okay, cool.
And then there we go. NFT holders, liquidity pool, allocation.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that you guys are looking at hybrid. I may have some updates that could change if you ever choose hybrid, or who
Well,
Pocket Aces and I are working with.
let's talk about hybrid for a minute, if you guys don't
Yeah.
mind. I'm sure that's your favorite thing to do.
Yeah,
I like talking about everything. I love this space.
You know, as I said, you know, RSG is really into giving back to its community with these income generating projects. Hybrid is on our radar. You guys are associated with Warfi, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what brought you on our radar, because you know Warfi is the huge part of Warhaven. So that really is what brought you to our spectrum.
Yeah. Oh no. Good. Awesome. But yeah, Warfi has been in our, I guess, part of our treasury for a while now. But I guess maybe like 7 to 6 months. But we've been in talks with them for a long time. We actually worked with Shiny Jackal right before the whole FTX debacle. Like we were one of their customers.
You've been in
But
there.
what? Sorry.
So you've been in there with it for a while.
Yeah. Lost
For
it
good
all
and bad.
with FTX going down, but that's okay. Well, it's not okay, but you know, it's
Nothing you can do
it
about
can't
it.
be changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we worked with them. Spoke a lot with Jason, and then we have other investments as well. So that's kind of our trading side. We have a couple other trading strategies that I'm doing right now. But we also worked with Gray for a little bit. You know, we'll see if we go back to them. But Warfi is definitely one that we're actually going to be holding for a long time. And then outside of trading, we have our miners, which have been doing pretty well until this month. But I guess everything is getting destroyed this month.
Calm
But
before the storm.
Yeah.
Or the drop before the high, or whatever we want to look at it.
Yeah, it just needs to lift up. Let's, help hybrid out. And that's the thing. And honestly, January is not looking as good as our other months looked, but that's the whole point of real yield. So we'll see how it all ends up, how it all ends. But we've had a less returns this month, but I'm kind of waiting to see what the end of the month brings. But so with hybrid, we have miners, we have the trading, we have our yield farms, which generated pretty good amount of funds. So that's good. And Justin, I've been allowed to give hints of what we're doing with Nugget Fund.
Gotcha.
And my community already knows about Nugget Fund. So what's happening with hybrid and Nugget Fund, which this is the first time we're kind of really talking about it, is pretty much a tokenized version of what hybrid is. So that, with the NFTs, you always have the problem of especially with projects like a RevShare project, is you can't get rid of a third of your NFT, right? You can't liquidate a share of the NFT. You have to liquidate all of it, or you have to buy all of it also. So we're pretty much tokenizing hybrid. Similar strategies with the mining, trading, and the yield farming. But also we are in contact with, we have what hybrid realty was going to be, which was the investments in real estate here in South Korea. And if you guys have more questions about that, why South Korea, I have a huge white paper that you can read, pages and pages of why. But South Korea has some pretty crazy advantages, especially for generating rent or leveraging your properties in a pretty safe way. And now we have a contractor that we've been working in talks with. I've been in talks with him for a long time, almost since hybrid started. and that will give us opportunities in Romania and the EU, because this company can do construction work in any of those countries. Not all of them, but most of them. So it's like a hybrid realty. If anyone read the white paper, they'll know what hybrid realty was. But it's kind of like a mesh of everything, and then it's tokenized. And we will have, it's more themed. It's kind of like a old Wild West kind of theme, and there'll be some kind of games, lotteries. I don't know if I'm allowed to, kind of like gambling, I guess, in some things. So you have a multitude of things to do within the ecosystem. You can just buy the token, stake it, and it's the same as hybrid. You'll get your returns. Or you can kind of play with some of the games and try to generate some extra returns. Though I'm pretty risk averse, so I probably won't be playing the games often. Plus, I'm really good at losing, so you know, I would just be handing my money to other people if I play that game. Maybe we'll do like a night where I play against others, and then they'll just
Just to
win
give money
everything.
away.
Yeah, just but yeah, so hybrid. So, and I wanted to say this because we're kind of in a crossroads where you can go with hybrid bond, which is going to keep going unless every single person says, let's move our treasury into Nugget Fund, and we will burn our NFTs and get the Nugget tokens instead. But most likely we'll be running both of them at the same time for a little bit until everyone exchanges their NFTs, or maybe we'll run both of them at the same time forever. So with a hybrid, you get more of just crypto, and then with Nugget, you get the crypto strategies plus real estate development, most likely in the EU first, and then eventually in South Korea to leverage the real estate here as well. But so yeah,
Yeah.
if you go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me just ask real quick about this. Real estate is huge. Obviously the world is only getting more populated, and people are going to run out of land per se. What is the attraction to start in South Korea, though? I mean, if you can put one thing on that? Why is South Korea your first start for that? What is the number one reason why you pick South Korea first?
So just most likely because of this, we're creating an LLC, and we're making a deal with this contractor. Most likely, if that goes through, it won't be South Korea. It will be the EU, and most likely Romania first. But
Okay.
with South Korea, I can answer both. With the contractor, I've been in communications with him for over 2 years, and we can get the cost of labor and materials in within the EU is quite a bit cheaper than South Korea. So we can concentrate on smaller, especially when we're growing. You know, if God wills it, and we get a crazy launch where we raise $1 million, then South Korea comes into play because the prices are higher, and we're not going to be able to do construction in South Korea. We'd have to just purchase apartments. I have a couple of very close friends that own real estate agencies here in South Korea, so I can find some pretty good deals. And so I'll answer the South Korea question first. South Korea has a system where their deposit system is very different from at least from I'm from Brazil, and I've lived in the US, is different from all of those places. Usually the minimum deposit on a house, on a small apartment, like a little studio, around $3,000 to $5,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's and that's the minimum. That's if you're going towards Seoul, it can be $30,000 to $50,000 just for the studio.
Yikes.
So I won't be we won't be purchasing any properties in Seoul anytime soon, but Incheon, there's a lot of opportunities here and there. So with that kind of deposit system, there's one that's called Jeonse, and with Jeonse, you can get around 60 to 75% of the value of the property as a deposit. So, then what I wanted to do is use that deposit to either bring it back into crypto. So like hybrid bond and hybrid realty would work together. So you're leveraging your real estate, you have your safe investment. It still has 40% of its value there, and you take that 60% and you make your returns in crypto. And 2 years later, you bring that back to the client. Or if for some reason you lose all the money, you still have 40% of the value of the property. You put it for sale 2 years later at a good, cheap price. You pay back the person who gave you that 60%, and maybe you even make a little bit off of the top with the profits.
Gotcha.
The big thing with it is there's a high barrier to entry, which we can solve by
Yeah.
doing the collecting of funds, and a high profit margin. And because of the barrier to entry, there's opportunities that not everybody can get into. It's very, like, in that country, it's so kind of caged, I guess, or forced into a certain demographics that can get into it, I guess, right?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, if you have cash, I guess you could come here and just purchase a place, which I guess you couldn't because you'd have to get some kind of
Don't they
visa.
limit? Yeah, I was going to say they limit who can do it too.
It'd be like there's very wealthy people who do it because they're wealthy and they can get special visas by, like every country, if you invest $1 million, $3 million into the country,
open
then
up
you
for you.
get some kind of special visa. So yeah, a normal person like myself would not be able to. Honestly, I've lived in Korea for 14 years, and it would still be very difficult for me to, we purchased our home, and almost everything has to be in my wife's name because they say you can, but it's almost impossible for you to get any loans or anything like that. So with me being here and having my wife, we can easily open an LLC, put all the funds into that. I'm doxed, all my information would be out. But that was the whole thing with hybrid realty. But like Justin said, the barrier to entry is still pretty high. We'd probably need at least $300,000 to get
Man,
So we need to
a
build towards that.
proper place.
that's all.
But the thing with Romania and now this deal that we have is we don't need that much, at least to start generating some kind of income from the real estate side.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is a mixture of everything. And, now with hybrid bond, I'm kind of by myself. Oh, is there a link to what I'm talking about? I guess that's probably what
So
he's talking about.
I wanted to kind of keep the conversation going. So I wanted to just quickly look at this. So John, I apologize. I don't know when you put that up. I know when you put it up, but we were in between talking about our Ready Set Go and hybrid. So I did put the Discord for Ready Set Go. I'm assuming you guys are open to people joining.
Of course.
That's perfect. And from their website, which is RSG token, I think, dash token. Nope, that's a good book. I had the website up. Sorry, I'm just going back. So it's RSG token 420.com. I see a theme there. So I did put their Discord on there. Obviously, their website would be a good spot to go, and it actually has access to that, their Twitter and the NFT page, so it's all there. And then for Nugget, I guess right now we're not quite opening up the Discord, correct?
I think. Well, I saw a few people come in, so I don't.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
they
it's been kind of
figured it
moved
out
a bit.
a little bit.
For now, the easy way would
we'll
be
wait
just
a
to get
little
into
bit.
hybrid for now, and we'll
Yeah.
definitely have some links to it there. So depending on what you're asking for, there's all those options. And because yeah, there's some neat things going on anyways. I do appreciate, like, and we're kind of on the same field here, and there's some overlap, and so I get that you guys looked at us because of Warfi, which is great. And again, but the nice thing was with us is there's some extra diversification outside of just that, because you don't want all your eggs in one basket either. And so we do kind of
Exactly.
balance that.
Yeah, you know, it wasn't just Warfi. Warfi was just the one that, you know, caught our eye because we're
Of
involved
course.
with War. But you're involved with fractal miners, is that right?
Oh yeah, fraction mining. Yes.
Fraction. That's you know, we've talked about mining before, as much as, you know, can we find a used Kadena miner? Can we find access to Ecos Online, cloud mining? Hell, I did a scam called Nebula Miner for a minute, thinking I was buying real terahertz, but I wasn't buying anything.
Yeah, the cloud. I've seen the cloud mining, and I don't know. And maybe there's someone here that can come over to our Discord and have a talk with me about those. But they seem too good to be true. Like,
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the
I've
ones, right? Like anything, there's
Yeah.
always really good ones of any kind. Like Flux is great, and you can cloud mine those, or you can GPU mine them. Like you can kind of do whatever. And something like that, I think, is an evergreen one that will be around and holds value. But there's still a barrier to entry. There's still like the ability to host it, the ability, if you're doing it cloud, at least there's a limited cost factor. And there's still the knowledge base and the ability to keep track of it. So I agree. It's, if you can find some place where you can do it more passively and let somebody who's professional manage that for you, there's a lot of value to that. And that's where somebody like Fraction Mining comes in and takes some of that guesswork out and lets you still hold that or earn that asset over time, like what we're doing with hybrid. But at least allows it to be done in a more safer manner where you're not managing something you maybe don't know how to manage. And that's where some of these types of projects come in quite handy. So for sure.
And there's still the barrier to entry. That's the only problem, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, the Caspa miner. It's like, well, now it's, well, I don't know. The price was kind of going up, and now Caspa is the kind of, it's stable
Well, you
though.
need to adapt so quickly because it changes.
Yeah. So that was like 10K, but it's still returning like a 20%, a 20% return a month on a miner, which is crazy because it's usually, you know, our Kadena miners and our else like the Litecoin, Dogecoin miners that we have, they'll, you know, I don't like to say ROI because it's kind of, you own that machine anyways, but they're generating maybe, you know, 5 on a good. Kadena went up quite a bit, so now they're a little bit closer to, I don't know, I think it was like 8% or something, which is not bad. It's a great return, but it's always changing. And someday you will have to upgrade, you know, hybrid or Nugget will have to have funds to get the newest one whenever that comes out. But I like Fraction Mining. They have a great system. They have great NFTs if you can get the special edition ones nowadays that they kind of, I think they're still minting them for Bitcoin and Caspa, I believe. Those the hash rates are not bad. It's still better to get the miner, but you end up like you still get a nice return off of their NFTs. But yeah, Fraction is a really cool place. We'll keep on working with them. I talked to Xeno Mining quite a bit. They might be doing some kind of immersion or a liquid cooled mining setup soon. That's where, like, I want to run my Bitcoin once we have enough funds for Bitcoin miners. I really want to have liquid cooled ones, not the air cooled, just because, you know, you just get more out of them.
Yeah, you can overclock them, or you can it helps the longevity of them too, and make them perform better for a longer period of time because you're not overworking them. So yeah.
But I was told it voids the warranty. So I guess, yeah, because you're opening the machine. You're not using it as it. unless you buy the actual hydro-cooled versions, which are way more expensive.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah,
And no
so
worries, John. I just see you saying you weren't begging, and that's okay. We were jumping around, so I get it. So, but
maybe
hopefully
buy
you got them all
used
there.
ones.
So
Buy
yeah,
like
sorry.
a couple used miners that have passed their warranty. I think it's 6 months or 6 months, maybe 7 months. And then take your chances. I think that's why they only hydro cool, they liquid cool the cheaper ones. The still not cheap, but the S19K or something. SG.
Yeah. I have yet to find anything under $1,000 when you're looking for a miner.
No, there's not a
Yeah,
lot, and they're going to
you
get
find
worse too.
them. And the Caspa one, it used to be under 1,000, but I think now it's over 1,000. Like the little mini one that you can run in your house.
Right.
But so yeah. So we're working with all these guys. We like to find who is an expert in something, because I am not an expert in everything, and actually I don't think I am expert in anything. Just I'm constantly
here.
learning. So
Always good to be a jack of all trades. That's how I look at myself.
yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience, obviously, if you have any more questions, please about either or, please put them in there. We'll go for a little bit longer if there's anything else from you guys. Any other questions you guys had for us, or Marcelo, any questions you have for RSG? Anything, and also anything just from RSG side. If there's anything you wanted to make sure that we talked about during this chat, by all means, please proactively give us the info. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about the RSG dream. Wise choice money if
Oh yeah.
you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Can
Go ahead.
you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, I was taking care of my mother. So yeah, RSG Dream is basically our way of taking care of humanity, of making a meaningful impact on humanity. We would like to help the veterans, those who sacrificed everything for our country. Okay. We would like to offer them employment opportunities, mental health care, just doing what we can to help them get back to a normal life, normal civilian life. We would also like to address the homeless population. Now, no matter where you travel, there's always homeless people. And it's a shame, especially when you live in America. We want to actually help them by giving them resources and opportunities, providing shelter, work opportunities, resources, just so they can get some type of power back in their lives. Now, most importantly, the children. We want to help children. That's our future. We want to provide support, in education, healthcare, emotional well-being. Give every child an opportunity to thrive in this world. There's a lot going on in this world, and children don't deserve to suffer for what we're doing in this world. We want to help them. Now, later on down the road, we also want to help single abused mothers and fathers, at-risk teens. That's also on the list. But we aim to change the lives of those we touch with RSG Dream. We want to align ourselves with strategic investments to create a self-sustaining force for good. That's what RSG Dream is about.
Okay, very good. And so, is there a mechanism in place or a design in place already for how that's going to come to fruition as RSG evolves?
At the moment, we have already started with a small church for Christmas. We donated, we raised funds to help with Christmas presents and anything that they needed, because no child, every child deserves a present on Christmas, to feel joy and love on Christmas. What we plan on doing with that is taking the external revenue sources and using a portion of those funds to actually fund that endeavor. to fund RSG Dream.
Nice. No, that's good. I mean, I think in a general, as a DeFi space, we need to think a little bit bigger than I think we have in the past. And I think it's been hard because of all the rugs and all the other BS in the space. And unfortunately, it's hard to even trust when a team says we're going to do that, because there were so many of them that use that as a crutch. So I appreciate you guys starting with a little bit of a grassroots kind of start, at least with it. So by doing that, at least you're showing the intentions in real time, which is great. So appreciate that. And then as you can grow, hopefully you can raise that bar and keep growing that ability to do so. So awesome, good for you guys. Yeah,
very cool.
I think you guys were gonna say. I think you said something, but you're muted. I need to step away for half a second, so I'll be right back.
No, it all chaos.
No.
Um,
So there's a third wing to hybrid that I saw. There was the Warfi, there was the fractal mining, and there was one more thing I saw advertised. What was that?
I think it was Cian, right? CIAN.
Yes, that's new to me. Very, very new.
Yeah, I mean, and we're currently not in there, but what it does, they do, it's like an automated strategies where they generate yield from staking and looping, and they have a bunch of strategies that they use. And what happens is it's great for staking native tokens. So like with yield farming, you have to pair it with something, and you have impermanent loss and all the things you have to deal with. But there are chances of you making a higher return, right? With them is, for example, they have an AVAX one, they have a Matic, and they have Ethereum on a few different chains. I wouldn't use the Ethereum chain because of the fees, but they have an Ethereum on Arbitrum and Ethereum on Optimism. And what you do is you just deposit your ETH, or some strategies will be like ST-ETH, or to automatically swap it for you, and you generate returns on that. And sometimes very nice returns. I think AVAX, well, at a time, and once the bull run comes, it'll probably be higher, because it just does better when people are, I guess, using the tokens and leveraging and things like that. Then they get higher returns. But AVAX was returning at the time like a 38-40% a year.
Wow.
Matic was close to like 50, and even ETH, their ETH strategy even now returns around. It changes all the time, but I think it averages around 6 to 9% a year on ETH. So yeah, I think they're a great team. I think they just keep building. I think their TVL went down a little bit because I think people were in it just because the returns were so high. But even now, I think AVAX is at like 15% and Matic is at like 13% a year. With no impermanent loss, if all you're doing is hodling, Matic or AVAX or ETH, and they will have other strategies, all their vaults, what they call. So it's a great place to, stake your funds. They've never had any problems with. You still have risk of liquidation if something crazy happens, but their system is pretty robust. Even during after FTX, it never got liquidated or anything like that. It stayed within the range, and you kept earning even during those times. So yeah, I think there are probably others like them nowadays, but I think they're really good at that. It's good for staking your tokens, at least those three.
But when you said you guys aren't in it though, when do you plan to?
When we have a higher TVL, maybe.
Okay.
With we had such a low TVL after everything. especially like 6 months ago, pretty much what happened is hybrid bond came into play. We put our funds together for hybrid. There was a HFI token before that, but because of FTX and then later overnight USD Plus, I don't know if you guys are familiar with them, is a yield it's a stable coin that has yield. So we used that as our main backing for HFI, which was never supposed to lose value based on the way it was developed. But then they had a flash exploit, flash loan exploit, and it lost 75% of its value. So HFI was doing well. It was pretty much hybrid bond, but with a token, and it was just the price kept going up. People were happy. It was 100% backed, and then that happened, and so we still had our treasury, so that was okay. But the whole point was that the treasury only needed to feed the backing very very small amounts, and because we had that USD plus in there also, then it will just kind of keep growing without having to risk too much of the treasury into riskier plays. But anyway, so because of all that happened, we had to get our treasury to build up the treasury, and then once we did close enough, our token launched at $1. We got it to I think 70.5 cents. And then everyone said, let's kind of separate the people that want to get out at 70 cents, and the people that want to continue, we go in hybrid bond. And since then, hybrid bond for 6 months, we've had positive returns. Nothing crazy because I'm not doing anything too risky. But so yeah, Cayenne was part of that, but once the yield dropped quite a bit, and I found some yield farming strategies that kind of got us going, or got hybrid bond going. I had to pull out of Cayenne. But yeah, if our TVL grows again and I can have the yield farming strategies going and we have a little bit safer returns that's just growing and compounding within Cayenne, then that would be perfect, because then our treasury value grows from that. The yield farming pays the returns, and eventually you just keep growing. But right now they're still in my little list and I still talk to them every once in a while, but I had to get some returns going for our investors. Yeah. Otherwise, 15% a year. Yeah,
it's a good place to put your
to
grow down the road. It's not a starter place, unfortunately, which is tough because you end up risking too much sometimes. Again, hybrid strategies are such low risk in the most part, as low risk gets here, that it's not as much of a problem. But to take our maybe 50% of our profits and throw it over there afterwards and start creating that snowball effect, that would be huge at some point. But yeah, like you said, we need to get a little more TVL, which we'll work on over the next little bit and go from there.
Yeah. But yeah, check Cayenne out. They're a great team.
They definitely plan on taking a look. Yeah.
So we're kind of getting close to that hour mark, and I do have some stuff at 10 o'clock Eastern my time. Is there any other questions, comments, concerns? The audience, I guess, have asked what they want to know for right now. Anything else from you guys?
No,
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate what you guys are doing. I mean, you've got a little bit of a full plate, so I'll be interested to see how you guys balance that. I don't mean that in a bad way. I like what you're doing, and the fact that you're trying to give some utility to the token out the gate. Because tokens sometimes are just such a mess sometimes. I think it'll be interesting to see how you manage your liquidity. That'll be the big thing. Now, your token, is it going to be over the counter, or is it going to be actually like on a liquidity pool?
It'll be on Pancake Swap.
Okay, yeah. So that's so that you'll need to deepen that liquidity pool to really succeed there. But that's going to be a fun challenge. And again, if you have these kind of base is set up and you've got the NFT going to help build that, that's a great way to start and go from there. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for all that info and for what you guys are trying to do. And again, like I said, I'm glad to see you guys start off with some type of grassroots giving back to the community to start with, and then would love to see how you guys can hopefully grow that as you grow your token and your NFTs. So I will keep my eye on it for sure.
Same here.
And thank you for even considering hybrid, and hopefully that becomes an opportunity for you guys that makes sense. And obviously keep in touch and let us know if you have any questions on that as we grow. And then, as you guys heard, there's a little nugget of alpha out there. Wow, that was a pun that I tried and I failed at.
No, that worked. That worked.
So yeah, please do keep an eye on Hybrid's Discord for now. I will be doing videos and stuff on Nugget as we evolve. But something neat, just basically a tokenized version of it. But there's more to it than that. And hopefully, as we deepen our liquidity with that one, there'll be a nice opportunity for us to get into some IRL stuff, which really I think should be a lot of people's goals down the road, to try and almost what Cyan, I guess, you're trying to do there, is create that longevity income for something, as opposed to just relying on the DeFi space to keep feeding you. Because at some point when you go through a bull, back to a bull again, or a bear, sorry, you need to adapt to that. And I think so many projects didn't have enough time to get ready for that kind of a drop in the market. Whereas hopefully our goal will be to get there now that we're starting before the bull really comes into effect. So yeah, very exciting times. Other than that, thank you so much for joining us, guys. And
thanks for having us.
Final comments?
Thanks for having us.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for joining, and thank you for having us, Justin.
Pleasure.
Always happy really nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah. All right. Have yourselves a great rest of your afternoon and day.